Hey, this is Clowntown, and today we're going to be doing another Factorio speedrun breakdown. Today we're going to be looking at Dr. Macau and EverLord's duo Factorio speedrun breakdown for version 17.66. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you that all the links and for everything I talk about today, including the links to their Twitch channels, the links to the original video, and all the tools used in today's broadcast will be down in the description below. Also, you can check me out 5-6 days a week live at twitch.tv/Clowntown, and all my support links, including Twitter and Patreon, are all in the links below. Also, hit up that like and subscribe and leave a comment if you like this sort of thing. All right, so this is speedrun.com/Factorio, and today's run will be found in the MISC category under any % duo. And the run we're going to be looking at here is today's second place with Dr. Macau and EverLord. Taking a look at the rules, it's just like any %, except for you'll need you can have up to 2 players. So that is, the game's won by launching a rocket. You have free choice of maps. You can crank the resources way up. You can shut the biters off. No external blueprints. But there we are. Up to 2 players are allowed. Other than that, it's the exact same. No mods, no console commands. Submissions require video, and the timer should show real time, not in-game time. Given that, let's go take a look. So to start off, I like what they've done here. They've put lots of good information in the description. They put the map exchange string. They've uploaded their save game to a Google Drive. You can also upload it to Factorio or Speedrun.com. They have some resources out here you can save. They listed the version that they're using and listed Dr. Macau's link as well. I think this was submitted by EverLord. And then they kind of gave a little bit of a record date and just a little bit extra detail. This is great. You should do this. If you're going to submit a speedrun, make sure that you include as much relevant information for verification as you can. It's just good practice. All right, let's get started with the run. All right, so here goes the run. And it's a duo run with Dr. Macau and EverLord. Of course, you can see the menus are all going to be in French because they have identified themselves as being from France. I think they speak English natively because I think I had EverLord in my Twitch chat the other day, and he came in and said sent me some messages, and I recall they were in English. So, but you'll see all the splits and all the messages that come up in Factorio. Of course, it's multi-language support. You'll see all that in French. So the interesting thing about this is we will only be able to see one perspective. So this is only EverLord's perspective, not Dr. Macau's. Also, one other prediction that I can make. I've done a couple of these duo runs in the past, and these duo speed runs, and there's a lot less reliance on bots, because if you have another player that can do the build quicker, and rather than wait on a bot to place the blueprint, then you can use it. One example is on your working your way up to bots, you'll want to get steel going pretty quick, and I usually rely on I have 3 half line of steel builds, and I say half line because it's not a full line of steel, but it takes a lot of bot placement to put that down, and I'm usually sweating getting steel going early, and I wait on bots to do that. In fact, my last any % run, I was short on steel because I did not have enough steel, or I didn't have enough steel to feed to purple, so purple dragged the ovens, by the way, the furnaces. So we will see Dr. Macau running around, but we will not be able to see his perspective, which is going to be interesting. We'll just probably wander around and see something built. But speaking of steel, what I would imagine is, and so something like in my build, I rely on the bots to place steel and get that going. Well, what EverLord can do here is just assign Dr. Macau, hey, I've built the first steel. Get over there and build 2 more steels while I work on bots, and then you can bank a lot more steel and have it ready to go for your future assemblies, and you won't be waiting on it. As an example, that one you can really shave some good time off of it. And now this is EverLord's build, which I've adopted some of this in getting a really large burner burner coal batch of burners up and running early. I do like having a lot of coal in the inventory, and it hasn't really hurt my time, but it has helped me to stay longer in the build, because I can grab a larger coal batch in my inventory and take it over there and make fewer trips back and forth for a little bit of an initial investment. This is interesting. I guess they are splitting up their iron and just going crazy on starting iron. What I think might should have happened is maybe one of them dedicate to copper instead. One to iron, one to copper, and get those running independently. It might be a better way to do it. So this is good while you're going to chop. EverLord is, of course, cooking the rest of that the long-running science builds while he's running over here to chop wood. You don't need that stuff. If there's something your handcraft queue can do initially, you want to throw that in there. And those science potions are a great example. It looks like he built 5, or did I lose count? Maybe not. It hasn't stopped at 5. Maybe Macau built the other ones. See, that's the other thing, is we won't be able to see all of what they build because Dr. Macau will be working in the background. Yeah, chopping all these trees down is good. You get a good handle on a good amount of power poles in your inventory to use later on, and all the while you're trusting Dr. Macau to do the rest of the build. So he's got their first miners down for coal. That's really good. If you don't have to have coal miners on, you don't have to hand feed coal, you can get 5 miners down really quickly and have power automated from the beginning. That's pretty good. So yeah, Dr. Macau is in charge of power because these are no longer flashing. They're not flashing red. Macau's already got power going, so it's good. So we've seen this this individual makeshift build before from EverLord. We saw that in the last review I did for him, where he makes a circuit board, a green circuit assembler with just 2 of them, and then he also makes a red science build that is hand fed. And it looks like they missed their split here. They've had that done. They've had automation done for a while. But they just missed their split. I do that all the time also. Yep, second lab down, really good. Their time is really good. They should be able to get gears and everything. Gears is at 20 minutes. It looks like their last practice, because I don't think EverLord has launched a rocket, or has EverLord launched a rocket at 2:47. We'll have to check. I think EverLord was the one who did it at 3 hours 20 minutes. So I don't think that is right. I guess that's Dr. Macau's first build, so that he can ideally get power up and running rather than take iron out of EverLord's build. Probably smart, since you can do it independently. You can get power up and running very, very, very quickly. And that should be 15, and you hand feed those to get them started. Not a bad idea. Be good to see they're gonna be disappointed though that they missed their split. Hand feed everything, make sure everything is running. He's gonna look up here in a minute and he's gonna go, oh, we forgot to split. There you go. Dr. Macau has already built 6 power, 6 boilers for power. More than enough for what he needs. He could probably double that pretty quickly. I guess Macau is going over there to finish up the that first half of Iron Line 1. And this is another thing you could do, is now that you have another person, you could even extend that first build and that first iron line, and or the first makeshift build, and squeeze a little bit more, like a third lab out of that first bit. Go. Inserters, interesting. Usually I just throw all of that into a splitter, but that might be a little expensive. Think about it. One splitter and the amount of material in it. It's going to be close. I think it's 5 boards instead. So instead of 3 splitters, instead of 3 inserters, you could do 1 splitter. I think the splitter is slightly more expensive, but not by much, as it turned out. More hand feeding. They still haven't done a split. They've clearly beat that time pretty well. He's going to get gears down right around 20 minutes or 21 minutes, and he's going to go, oh, crap, we forgot to split the other one. The same thing I do. He's stealing, cheating, stealing some, not cheating, wrong one. He's going to sneak some iron out of that build that Dr. McCall has, hand feed that assembly, so going to run through the red science while he's building iron 1. Not a bad play at all. The hand-fed stuff is really good to get going quickly, but one should not neglect the permanent build. So here comes the gears. He's going to get that going. Put all the inserters down that he's handcrafted for it. And there you go. And he's going to go split gears. Oh, he needs the output. I guess I could do wood as well. I usually do iron chests. Well, he's going to move on, and he's not going to be able. He still hasn't split. He's going to move on past gears, even though he's got gears done. So Dr. McCall has handled the blueprints and placed the half line of copper, which is really good. Need some more belts. Need to get some belts on the ground. Automated. I don't see those yet. That's a really big deal once you can get belts automated. It helps so much. There you go. Fast inserters immediately because he's done the work over on the individual build. Pretty fancy. You do want to upgrade to fast inserters on green circuits as soon as you can, because at some point they will be inserter limited if you use the yellow ones. My strategy is to use 2 yellow on each inserter or on each assembler. Still hadn't split. He's 2 assemblies behind. He's got gears. He hasn't he hasn't split yet. He's gonna go. I don't know what the swear word is in French. Merde, I guess. I don't know. He's gonna go. Merde. I forgot to split. That's about as much French as I know. Is the dirty word probably. And je m'appelle Clowntown, I think. Multicultural. We're a uniter. Yep, let's get those on the board. And what's his next split after that? 16 labs. He's gonna have green circuits up here, and he's not gonna be able to. He's gonna split 3 all at once. Some water. I forget on whether or not at what point he pulls these up, but that's good. I do that now also. Is putting in that second row of stone furnaces for handcrafted steel. It's a really good way to you turn this burner city here into early steel, so that you can get your oil gear in your hand before you build your steel line. That's really big. Or if you have enough steel, you can even upgrade all of your assemblers to level 2 assemblers. And if you do even better, you can get your chemical plants built as well for the stuff you'll need for the oil derivatives. Plastics is the first thing you probably want to build right after. He's gonna do that. Yep. Look here, he's gonna get all green science done, and he's gonna look up at the splits. It's hard to focus on everything when you're doing these. Look, he's making the labs. it's hard to focus on everything when you're doing these speed runs. Man, I get it. So the only downside to this is you do get everything done, but this is the first time he's built. Waited till green science for the first time he's built automated belts, and that seems late. See, that's the first belt, automated belt. Every other bit of belt is hand fed up until this point, which is a tough way to go. See, I've been doing this too. I used to limit the chest to 1,000 red and green, and then as soon as the rocket hit, as soon as it's time to do the rockets, I pull those up, but I always forget. So I think it is good. I think it is good to go ahead and do what he's done, do what he did here, and make limit it to 2. I think I limited to 3 last time. Just as successful. I probably saved myself some green circuits. All right, same build. He's going to count using assemblers. Yep. So you can count using these ghosts because they it's a good way to measure 3. It's a 3x3, so you can ghost place 3 spaces. Just give you a little index to space out your builds if you have a plan. There it is, lab split. He's not going to do lab split either. 16 labos. He's got them. Split. He's he's going to do 3 splits here, and he's not going to have the split. Not going to have the time. He may get to power 20 and go, married. All right, same build. He's building up the mall, which is good. And, yep, staggered. I've seen that pretty common, the staggered build. One thing that he's doing here that I've since corrected, and it'll become clear here in a minute, is those extra 3 greens on the right, extra 3 copper coils on the right side are going to go towards red. And it's going to be, his reds are going to suffer because the ratio of what he's sending down there is not right. And it's something I caught as well in my similar build that I've since corrected. And I'll explain more when we get there. So here's chests that he's got in here. He's got look at there, it's dropping 1 iron at a time. How about that? Yep, into iron chests. So this is really good. He's making these stuff for red and banking the stuff for red, the coils and the greens, immediately. So he's going to have a double line of these two. It's going to be great. He's got a buffer for them too, so that's great. And that is a really good, that's a really smart build, is because I'm almost always short on those. But what he'll see is he's going to be belt limited and not material limited, I think. And so it's a small thing to fix. Plus, there's more real estate over there, and I'll show you here in a minute. So all this is good. He's going to make lots of these yellow assemblers. He still has not split. Macau is probably going to holler back and say, hey, we got power 20. And off we go. He's going to put some intermediate power builds in to automate those in between here. I do something similar. It's just over on the other side. I don't do... one philosophy is, because, which I kind of talked with Rain about this earlier, is that if it's super quick and there's a limited number, just handcraft it all. Thus, I don't automate stone furnaces. Half-second build, and I usually have stone in my inventory for whatever reason, because I'm chopping rocks, and I just right-click and go. And then I can put them in. I automate boilers because the pipes are automated. And there's too many pipes to think about, but there's a fairly limited number of stone furnaces that you need. You don't need we need all of them. Probably 48 times 4, so around 200 of them, and you can build those. And probably, yeah, probably like 210 of them, and that's a quick build while you're wandering around doing your stuff. He doesn't have a 16. He doesn't have a 6. Oh, you got 32 labos with no split. Oil and plastic at 52 is his benchmark. He's going to split. See, he's upgraded. He's got some steel in his hand, just like we talked about, and he's upgrading. He's using the steel that he has in his hand with the old gray, the gray assemblers to upgrade as he walks. He needs to pull some gears out. He doesn't have any gears, so that handcrafting over there is taking a long time. 2-3 things to have in your inventory at all times. Gears, coils or green circuits, whichever one you're at, and pipes. Those are something to have in your inventory at all times. Super handy. I carry them around for almost the entire speed run, all 3 of those, and make sure I have some inventory of them at all times. So this is good. See, he's got steel and stone. Macau cooked him some stone. So now he's making his stuff for oil. So there is the refineries. He's probably got the pump jacks done, or maybe he, I didn't see. Next time he opens his inventory. But he's got chemical furnaces or chemical plants ready to go. I don't think he's got the tanks and pump jacks yet. No, he does not. No pump jacks. And next time he opens his inventory, we'll look. And he's got a couple tanks. All right, so that's good. All right. Splitter's automated, which is good. Underground's automated, which is good. Because the reason why that's important in an any percent run is because of the bots will need a bunch of those. Other speedrunners who are faster tend to handcraft a bunch of them using the belts that they have. They automate. Once you have the iron and the belts, it's a fairly quick handcraft. But I'll always forget it, and then they just what they'll do is they'll handcraft a bunch and just throw them in the trash bin. Trash bin, yellow storage, logistic storage, so the bots can pick them up. Trash bin. Yep. Still got one left. Yep. So he's turned decoratives off, which is really good. I endorse this plan. What you don't want is anything that draws your eye, that lets you know that there's something there that's not. So I do like the decoratives off for speedruns. Factorio is it's a very brown game, and the the color tones are very similar. So this is interesting. He's going to go ahead and do the full build. So I guess is good. You don't want bots to do all this if you can possibly do it yourself, because you'll get it done so much earlier. This is probably one thing that he may or may not do, based on if he had to do it with bots. He may not do all of that work that he just did. I did not see any pump jacks go down, so he's ready for. There it is. Oh, looks like he's forgot them. Okay, there you go. Yep. Okay, I was asking the right. I guess I was asking the right question. So he's got to wait for a little bit to make them. And look, see, there you go. He's having to make gears too. So make sure you have gears in hand all the time, because especially those oil and oil derivatives have a big pipe demand and a big gear demand. I guess and a big green circuit demand too. So make sure you have those in your hand before you run down here. But there you go. I didn't see the pump jacks, so there's a reason I didn't see the pump jacks, because he didn't make them. And the only reason I call these out is because I've made all these same mistakes before. So don't think of them as criticisms. Think of them as observations. I have screwed up speed runs in more ways than more ways than you can count. This is a really great map, except for oil. It does have the dang trees in exactly the wrong place to build oil. And it takes you to where your builds are, your oil build, it's not elective anymore to pull the trees off of your oil build. You must do it. But the good part about that is it does force you to make sure you have wood and enough wooden power poles for end game. So this is a good plastic build. He's probably going to build the whole thing. He's not going to need bots because Dr. Macau can handle some of the other things. Hopefully Dr. Macau's is going ham on power, because as soon as these oil things have been fired. So look, he's got oil going, and we still have not hit a damn split. He's going to get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 splits, all the way up through oil and plastic without having done a single split. Oh, he's going to be pissed. It's a half build for red. See, the gears are slowing that build down. And there's automated gears up top. Now it's time for reds. Yep, he's got plastics off the line, and he still has not hit that split button. It's not required. It's just funny. It's definitely not required. The speedrun is still legit, but it's not required. Looks crowded over here. How many did he make? Oh, some of them are coming up and top, and others are going down. So look at here. So here's what I'll talk about. A red circuit takes 1 green, 1 plastic, and 2 coils. And what he's delivering via the belt is 1 plastic, 1 green, and only 1 coil. So the coils are going to be belt limited. What he should do is find a build to put plastics and green on the same belt, and then have a full belt dedicated to coils. I have since corrected that. I noticed my reds were always coil limited, so I have since swapped that. It's not 1, 1, and 1 as he's belted the ratio here. It's 1, 1, and 2, the coils being the 2. So these reds will not run as optimally as they could. That's why you'll see me run an extra belt down there and have a full belt of greens merge with plastic and then come back up. I've corrected that. It takes 1 extra trip down to correct them. But I have since corrected those. Otherwise, this is a good build. Or the alternative is he could do some red belts here, and this build would function just fine, optimally. If the intent is to make every assembler run at full speed, which using a speed run, that's what you want. Otherwise, it's wasted time, right? Wasted time and material. There you go, and here's batteries. Reds and batteries. We're coming up on 1 hour, 2 minutes is his time, and he has not done a single split. He's just blazing through fast. It's not really a requirement. It does help you for your future runs to figure out where your benchmarks are. There you go. He's got to hook up batteries. Good. And sulfur. Interesting that he's got an interim build. He's going to belt those in. They hooked. Oh, nice. That is not a bad idea. Instead of hooking them all up there, you just hook it to the length of the pipe, I guess. Interesting. Oh, so one is going to insert into coils directly. The other one is going to insert into a chest to do blue science. So you'll bank that for blue. Sulfur makes super quick. Oh, and there he goes. He's going to bank 2 of them. I tend to put those together, and I just have them pile into one single chest. I just belt them around, and in that way they're both piling into the same chest, and I can just run over there and pick up the chest and go, go, go. Battery circuit. And he sent me a note on the last time I did where he says why he limited batteries. And I can't remember what the answer was. But he did have a definite reason as to why he limited batteries. I have to go check. Let me go look while we're running here. So he's going to set up the pipes and gears for Blue Science, and hopefully Macau is feeding in more iron. It looks like EverLord is in charge of the build, and Macau is in charge of smelting and resourcing, smelting and power. So Macau can just go through there and just blaze through and get steel going, which is really handy. Let me look at my videos and go back, and there comes Blue Science. That's the engine part of it. Hopefully this doesn't just kick off and start the video. Here we go. I limit batteries so that robo parts will not be overbuilt to save some green circuits. Thanks for this breakdown. I feel very proud. Yeah, thank you very much, EverLord. It's good. You did a great run. So it's so that so he uses batteries to limit bots, and I limit bots with a chest because, and the only thing I overbuilt on those bots is I have a half belt full, and the belt is maybe 28 times 3. Yep, 24 lengths of belt full. And batteries are overall they're fairly cheap, and if you do oil right, you should have an excess amount of petroleum gas. Especially now that it's easier to get, it's pretty easy to get petroleum gas. You don't have to worry about the other derivatives. You can get it going quick. Now here's a prediction. Here is he will go ahead and build all of this, Blue Science. In a speedrun solo, I would normally, oh, he overrode his blueprint. Yep. I would recommend that you don't build this whole thing. You just want to get Blue Science going, so you can build, say, half of it like I do. But probably he'll get it going and then build the other half. Yeah, so Macau's still working on the iron, and it's trickling through, so he had to go and bounce it. Look at there, he's going to pick it up. There you go. He's got some of what he needs. You need oh, look, there you go. Power 20, OAP, oil and plastic. It should be done. Should be doing that one too. Reds and batteries are done. He should split those. He finally did the splits. Yep, pick up all those reds. So you can do some RoboPorts when it's time. You may not need to use bots in the air. Maybe it's helpful for cleanup because Dr. Macau should really be his bot and doing all the smelting stuff that otherwise he would do. But using circuits in Speedrun is pretty handy. I'm not the only one who does that. Oh, you need to turn those around. Yep, there you go. Good. That would be a tragedy if that went long. Okay. There you go. So he's reversed that belt. And now he's probably going to finish up Blue Science, if I had to guess. So he's got Blue Science up and running. And I think that's a split that he should do. If I remember his build last time, I think he had Blue Science as a split. I don't think we'll be able to see it until he hits the button, because he's got the live split layout pretty shrunk down. Yep, and I also limit bots with the number of bots I make with green circuits. It's 1 per. No, 2 per. So 400 bots is 800 circuits. And then need some of that steel. He's going to hand feed it. How about that? Send plastic up, similar to how I do it. I route it backwards and go up that way. I should probably think about something like this. Change my build to be more parallel. I think I See, I don't know though. So he's counting out exactly how much blue he needs. Probably can put that sulfur away now, or at least limit it to 1. There you go. The other thing I abandoned is I decided it was not worth it to put production modules in blues and try and get that done. You don't really make up the time. The amount of reds it needs to get production modules in there is not enough to justify versus the number it saves. So I just bailed on that. I do, however, put production modules in the labs before blue gets there, because that, right as I make reds, I can get that done. So on the labs, but not in the blue assemblers. Yep, so he's getting lube ready to go. And just comes off of one of those. Yeah, take that away before the bots try and place some stuff there. Oh, he pulled up the assembler. I guess that's what else do we need an assembler for? For solid fuel, maybe? For chemical plants, solid fuel, yeah. Still has not split reds and batteries and steel. So the entire run lasts 2 hours and 15 minutes, so we'll be done here in about 30 minutes real time. He's cooking. He and Dr. Macau working in the background. Looks like he's handling the smelting, but this is all of the what we really wanted to see anyway. The smelting part is, many Factorians say that's a necessary evil. That the really fun part is doing this sort of stuff with the builds. And there's other Factorians who just love the smelting part and really dig it. I didn't mind putting the power scenario together. The other thing that I must confess that I have not learned yet is nuclear power. I know the Covarex process pretty well, and I can get that going, but I have not learned nuclear power, which I probably should. There's some interesting stuff to do with that. Hopefully, the fluid mechanics will be fixed and bugged-free, and then we'll be able to run some gigabases off of nuclear power. So solid fuel, he's got that dedicated going into smelting, and that's good to offset smelting. Solid fuel is so energy dense. Really, it really accomplishes a lot to get rid of the amount of material moving on those belts. Consumes way slower. There you go. So lube and electric engines are should be off the line. He's He's got everything else back there. You see, look, green circuits are coming down. So green circuits are being borrowed. Look at these. So look what he's doing here. So green circuits are hurting up top. So he's making a makeshift green circuit build here just to feed this bottom part, which is interesting. I've tried some similar shenanigans. There's the engines. Oh. And now it's time for bots. He's got to define those recipes. Yep, there you go. Engines are off the line, and gonna hand feed those. Yep. And he does need some gears and oh no, you need gears and reds and steel, and make that RoboPort and get those bots in the air. Fix his maul. Oh, look, yep, here you go. Okay, look at that click. He's made some red belts. So he says, I'm going to solve this problem with red belts. Not ideal, but it is doable. There you go. We got some, see, look at the gears. Look how long it's going to take to make the gears, or make the gears before the red belt and before the RoboPort. Remember, this is at twice the speed, so it looks like it's fast, but it is a pain to do that. So look, he's got a gear, and look right there, he made a gear buffer. There's gear buffers right there. I see some gears in the chest, and a gear buffer up at Blue Science. So you just yank those out of there and get it done. Although that Blue Science is hurting for iron. What are you doing, Dr. McCow? Let's get her done. It's like. Yelling at your teammates. You got two more. He's got to make every single gear for him. He's hurting on gears. His production science pack is done. No splits. Reds and batteries are done. Steel's done. He's not split anything for a long time. Need some steel. There you go. His inventory is full, so he needs to dump those. Yep. He's low on steel, so he's gonna juice the steel. And I've got it muted, but he's probably hollering at Dr. McCow, "Hey, get steel going. Quit farting around and get steel going." Yeah, see, I only see 3 lines. There's not, and he needs to do. Steel is going to be short if we don't get steel going. Also, very important is the upgrade of those furnaces to steel furnaces. You can double your steel production if you get a stack of those and swing 48 of those steel furnaces over on steel furnaces on your steel build. You can immediately double your steel. Let's do that. He also needs another steel line underneath. I may need to switch my oil build. My oil build's been too big for about a year now, and I've trimmed it down, trimmed it down, trimmed it down. I don't build much. I build 6 refineries initially, and then double it to 12 at some point. Then bots build all the rest. Just paste for more solid fuel. So now we're going to figure this problem out. He's going to sushi belt it all. This build gave me problems until I fixed it the way I was telling you guys. Oh, that's not going to work either. Oh, no, that's going to work. Yeah. All right, that's not bad. There you go. Double up plastic. Good. And it's time for rocket fuel. So he's going to bring a line down. And then... Yep, he's going to bring a line of solid fuel all the way down. And then you can grab the light oil right above it. Run along one side. All done. You need those red ones for output. He's thinking or yelling at Macau or something. Ah, good thinking. Look here. little spaghetti. Never hurt anybody. It's not true. Carbs kill probably millions of people every year. Probably. I have no scientific data to back up this statement. All right. National Carb Society is going to come after me. Whatever. Join a group. I don't care. I'll outrun you. All right, there's steel. There's finally the second steel line. And he may not get a third steel line. I don't think he can fit in there because plastic has come up a little too high. Maybe. It might work out perfectly, but it looks short. Thing you got to do right now, looks like you're going to be short on steel if you're going to launch this rocket in 2 hour 15, is to grab those steel furnaces right now and go throw them on steel, the first thing. Right there. Oh, there you go. there's the pasta that we came for. That's a way. That's a way. All right, so the bots have their orders. And there we go. There's that buffer that he's going to put on there. I needed to look at that buffer. It's not a bad way to go. That splitter, though, I'm not sure what the splitter does. Why is that splitter there? So that's going to be rails. Should you feed it back into the splitter or something? No, he's just going to feed it back in. Interesting. Okay. Oh, he mismeasured, so he's got to do that thing. Okay. There you go. Need some rods, right? Where are the rods for the rails? Rocket fuel is he's researching now. Carburant pour fuse. Okay, there's the rods. All right, on the half line of steel. Okay, good. And you got to bank those rails. I was short on rails because I got short on steel. You may have an issue. Oh, he's got one that wasn't running. Yes, lots of good prod mods. Time to go. There you go, that's done. As soon as the science is done, he's going to come around and rotate those, and then rocket fuel is going to be banked. Very good. All right, he has done what I suggested and replaced all of steel with steel furnaces. That's good. The only issue though is that he still hasn't split anything. He's like seven splits down. And we haven't seen he splits. There you go. No. Yeah, chest. There you go. You have a blueprint right there. That looks good for a... Oh, no, he's making a new blueprint, I guess. There we go. I can't see what Macau's doing. So I guess I answered my question about what the splitter's there for. It's an outline. It doesn't belong on that first one, but it does belong on the rest of them. Here you go. He's got some solid fuel buzzing around his inventory. Oh, got to limit those miners. Those miners are going to get you. So Macau's done a good job in the background of running all of the copper where it needs to go and getting the smelting and mining set up, supplied. So this should be big green. And he may just build the whole shebang. See, that's not a bad idea, is copying those, and you can just put those in. Yep. It's dangerous if it's not exactly right. If you only intend to build 8 and your blueprint has 3, your copy pasta. Oh, that's not a bad idea either, is to copy and paste the blueprint from there. Maybe I might have to try. I might have to change that green build down the south, and so I can blueprint up here, because I always struggle with making this perfect. Lots of opportunity for mistake up there. There you go, wire it all up, and then need some green circuit. Need some splitters. So everything else has those buffers, and the bottom one does not yet, I guess. He's got, yeah, see, look, he needs to put those in. Put those in first before we go and attend to the other one, because the top one had buffers, this one didn't. So the top one has now been running for a little bit longer than the bottom one. So far, so good. All right, that's smart. Look what he did with the middle. Instead of having the undergrounds go all the way across, don't even bring it across. I've wasted an underground every time and wasted time doing that. You just stop it. You don't put an underground on there, and you split, and it goes around. That's even better. Some of those are, it looks like some of those are still gray assemblers. Interesting. I guess they don't need to be. Don't need to be all blue. Splitter, you don't make a ton of splitters and undergrounds and miners. You can leave those. I do that too, is go and hand feed those. Yep, there's the 2 splitters. And he's got priority. Okay. Yep, so all these are going to go into a 4-4 splitter. 2 robo ports in the middle of green. How about that? Oh, look at there. And he's made a place where if copper begins to suffer, he can go hand feed and push it all in. That's pretty smart. I have a similar issue. Yep, and he's going to go do it. So he's going to go grab. He put his stuff in inventory. He's going to go grab and hand feed something in the middle there. All right? There you go. Boom. There you go. Probably set it up for a good while. Now here's your 4-4 that needs to be balanced and maybe or maybe not prioritized. What you got going on? Okay. I recognize what's happened before the balancer, but not what's going on after the balancer. It might be my issue because I too struggle with where greens go. Not a single split. that rock out the way. Hey. Who's rock? So this is reds. This is big red. So surely this time he'll recognize it and go split. I've recently redone my red build too to have the coils inside direct feed. I think that was based on White Leaky's most recent build. Yeah, look out. He's one off because he didn't have enough output range. Yep, he's an output. See, a cramped build like that, there's no room for placement errors. There you go. Dr. Macau, what you doing? Why are you running out here? There you go. Now there's the red output. Now you can buffer that. There you go. Because once you start red circuits, you never want them to stop till you build, because you need a ton of them. You go from needing a few for blue science, and then purple and yellow. You need so many reds, just so many reds. And I can get that. Let me pull it up. He's running. He's going to route this, and probably that's going to become speed modules if he's only doing a half line of greens. Can't really support a blue circuit build on a half line of greens. So the science counts is you need 5,000. So for blue, you need 5,000 reds to get all your blue science done. You don't need a lot to start out with. That's including the rockets, so you can have those done later on. You need about 1,000 reds initially for your prod mods and to get yellow and to get your advanced oil going. Roboports, etc. 1,000 will get you set up pretty good. 5,000 for that, and then between yellow science and red science, you need a total of, what is that? 6,600. Right after that, plus then the rest of it comes into play. Reds total, yep. Rest of it comes into play on the rocket, etc. So you go from needing about 1,000 to get going to needing around around 10K to launch that rocket after that first initial bump. So you got to get going. Reds are no joke. So this is good. I've since done something similar where I've capped my my furnace build. I have 4 of them running. But last couple of times I've tried, I've been steel limited because I screwed up on steel. Does need a lot of steel, so for those furnaces for purple, about 13,000 steel. That is including the 8% bonuses in the science. So 13K steel, which is a bunch. It's a lot. right. And he's got those on the row. He's going to make a sushi belt. So it's dangerous to do this as a on the underside of a build like this because there's lots of opportunity to get it screwed up. And it looks like he's got the prod mods on the same line as the purple line. As a prod mods the same line as the speed modules. Uh-huh. And he's unfiltering them using the splitter. Interesting. All right. Interesting. I'm going to slow that down and look at that. I have something similar, but I'm using just a splitter to split off into two ways. One goes up, one goes down, instead of putting their outputs on the same one. I guess it's a slow enough build that you could probably prioritize pretty well. But does that mean that he's got 8 prod mods and looks like 12 purples? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 14 purples. And is 8 enough to supply 14 purples? I have to look at that too. And have the purples run the whole time. If it is, it's genius. Always got to be careful with that LDS because I always leave something out. It's the simplest build. Yikes. Leaving a space for the RoboPort. See that? Probably. That's my guess. Just need 4. And sending LDS down here on the inside of the build, not... Oh, interesting. Just going to route it all the way down here. I tend to route it up and over the other side. I don't think I've seen this build from EverLord yet. This is good. So, yep, there's your red belt. Just try and solve that that copper shortage problem. It's an issue. I solve it by just throwing handfuls and handfuls of green circuits into the red build. I got a couple buffers from elsewhere. All right, so purple is well underway. Oh, they split oils and plastics. They have not done reds and they have not split reds and batteries yet. I'd say all their bots are done. All the batteries are done. All the bots are done. The reds are here in full force. They've not done split steel. They've not split blue science and extended reds. I think that was a misclick. He must have clicked that with his finger. Because if he had looked up there and just only split one, that's strange to me. Because he's an hour over reds and batteries. So that must have been a misclick because he would have seen something crazy up there. Merde. I like the purple build. I'm not sure why the 3 in the middle are vacant. I guess we shall see. Maybe once those prod mods are done, the move is to swap it all to speed module 1s once you get enough purple. That might be it. So you need a total of 517 production modules. There you go. Bam. And bam. Feed the back end. Yep. Not a bad strategy. Hand feed. Use those buffers for a reason, to get everything jump started. So there is, here comes yellow science, because there's blues on that line and a sushi belt. Looks like he's going to hand feed bot frames, and then there is more. There is more yellow, or more LDS than he knows what to deal with. He's going to go down here and get the bot frames. Pull those up. Bingo. He's got what he needs. And then there's batteries. Now it's going to be time to... oh, he swaps it over to wooden chests. Yep, to pull all the material out of there. That's not bad. He's got enough of the science that he needs. He's going to put the rest of it in there. And then that is more coils, I guess. Or maybe it's the... oh, yeah, there you go. Pull those up. Yep, last bits. The last bit of blue, so he's checked that. He's put in exactly enough sulfur as he needs to make the exact amount of blues that he needs, so he's hands checked that. Curious to see what those extra assemblers are. Beacons is one of them, so that's good. That's where I put my beacons as well. And because right there's reds and steel, so hand feed some green circuits. And then hand feed some of those coils, and yes, I do something similar. Need some blues. Oh, he's going to hand grab those blues off of the line. Interesting. But he's hand feeding them. No, he's not hand feeding them. It's a buffer chest. Okay, I get you. So they will be replaced. All right, good. Go. Need some more green circuits for beacons. You need to build some labs here pretty quick, because as soon as the rocket silo runs, that science does take a while. Let's look at the rocket silo research. It is 1,000 at 60 seconds apiece, which is very high. There's a lot. Okay, here come the labs. So I spoke right on time. So far he has... I think that's 64, because it's a line of 32. I think. And I've taken to, I do 64 as well, but I also beacon the last few. I think it's a line of 16. Beacons are running. Greens are doing pretty good in blue circuits. I like that that blue, that's the blue circuits that's running in there, the little split about 2/3 of the way down. Cut out the middleman and move the middle line out. He's done with blues, so he's going to stop those. Not a bad plan. Another line of labs. 8. Yep, so 16 times 5, so 80 labs. How about that? May as well. Labs are those will only help you in this case. It might be cheaper than beacons. Beacons take forever to make. Labs are a little quicker if you have all material. They do take, both of them take a little bit of time. How much he got? He has... Oh, I wasn't ready. got 9 blue science in his inventory. I wonder if that'll come into... Oh, he sees it and he's going to... Hey, look at there. Yep. If he's that worried about counting the individual blue circuits, then yeah, you shouldn't carry that around. You should put it on the belt. May delay the machine having a blue science. And there's the blue science, or the prod mods. More labs. A few more labs. So rather than build some beacons, you can just throw 50 more labs at it. So there's the rocket silo. So using the prod mods, for example, raw yellow, it does take 1300. Well, no, it's because I've got the rock. I've got some more stuff in there. Like I do rock robot speed, and I do one batch of like mining productivity. I've got some extra blue in there that I don't use. Or that is not really required. So I was looking at the wiki versus the minimum versus what the wiki says is the minimum amount. So this is not a bad strategy. I've seen this before, where you can, where the player has this one line that has a red and a green feed into it, and the player can then swap them out as they need and convert them very quickly to. From one to the other. All right, so we're at 2 hours and 20 minutes. Rocket silo is being researched. And I'm going to turn the AC on because I'm hot. Let's turn the fan on because I'm hot. Got it on my phone. Fancy. Hopefully it doesn't make too much noise in the background. There we go. Cool off my feet. Oh, look at that. Okay, we finally figured out the split. He split all of them down to silo research. He did everything at 2 hours, 11 minutes. So 5 minutes ago, video time, he figured it out and went. Focus. That's the intense focus right there. You know, time for splits, man. Much less time to eat during a speed run. Surely you don't want to eat during a speed run. Who does that? Some of those got on the wrong side. So he's going to send those up there. Hopefully Dr. Macau will build the RCUs. Do some maintenance in the purple. He can't see what he's hand feeding. The dark screen. Oh, rails. Okay. Pulling some prod mods out. Interesting. Interesting strategy. I don't see that. If you need prod mods to make purple, maybe you do. Maybe you're short on prod mods. Oh, it looks like a circuit is cut from power. What is monitoring? Yeah, hand feeding purples. I guess they're light on purple. I can't see the resulting science belt. Silo research is 70% done, 75% done. Looks like they need. So he's going to need some steel. I see in his inventory he's got only like 3 stacks of steel. He's got labs in there too. He's going to need 200 blues, which he only has 21. He's going to need the engines. Hopefully they're done. And 1,000 concrete, which hopefully Macau has done the concrete. Yep, look at those rails. He's trying to get those end purples running. Not a bad strategy. I bet rails were low on steel is what's going on. See, I don't understand the strategy here for rockets. There's a good way to get as many beacons around the rocket as you can. But maybe we're not concerned with all those beacons. You can do some undergrounds and do some prep, but for some reason folks run the belt. Hey, there you go, all done. Stop the music, stop the science. See, look, he's putting a little break in there. Wonder how many is there? 6. Maybe it is fine. Maybe it is the same number. It might be. Maybe I'm wrong. So the rocket fuel's there. Just leave them on the belt. Oh goodness, that is a lot. Well, that was a bunch of those are going to be inactive. Like those first few are the only ones that are going to be active as soon as they make the silo. Who's making the silo? EverLord has the. Oh, and here's what's going to happen is EverLord has the prod mods. As soon as someone puts down that silo, they're going to start consuming material, and he's going to throw those prod mods in quick. Otherwise, you're going to be short. See, look, boom. See, that took some crackerjack timing, because if they'll start to burn that down without. Look, he's clicking all that in. Start to burn that down without those prod mods in. Yep, he's trying to throw it in. This is why you want to use chest, probably. You just throw it into the rocket fuel chest. There it is. Boom. Yay. What's cargo? I guess there was something else that was there for cargo. Oh, up underground pipe. Boom. Dun, 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 dun. Let's pause the video there. There you go. Well done. 2.5. 232.35. Well done, Dr. Macau and EverLord. It was good. Good stopping the science when it needs it, and interesting way to route all those up, get all those going. We didn't see the RCUs, didn't see all the steel and the concrete. I guess Macau was in charge of that, and the steel and the pipes. Interesting build. So make sure you guys go check that out. Let's switch over. So there you have it. That's Dr. Macau's run with EverLord. Their links are down in the description, as well as the map exchange string they used, and a link to them on speedrun.com. If you want to start speedrunning, go for it. The link to OBS is down in the description, as well as LiveSplit, the timer that most of the runners use, and upload it to YouTube. Again, don't upload it to Twitch. The video playback is not as good, and Twitch tends to delete the videos on demand. In fact, as I'm recording this, the first place winner, or the first place, does not have a video linked with their submission because Twitch expires their videos, so it is missing. They need to upload it to YouTube. So yeah, give it a shot if you can, and put a timer up there. Watch some of these speedrunners, practice some of the builds. There's a mod out there called Creative Mod, and a couple links down in the chat or in the description for some planners that you can use. I would recommend you give it a shot. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe if you would. As well as you can catch me live. Come say hi. Twitch.tv/Clowntown 5-6 days a week. Hit me with a follow on Twitch. Patreon and Twitter links are also available. Come hit me up. Thanks very much, and we'll see you next time.